The devil is a liar. Yeah, 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 yeah. The devil is a liar. Yeah, 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 yeah. Victory, I've got the victory. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hit that intro. If you see it on TikTok, do at me. Live, love, and be free. Make sure you subscribe, give me a like, and comment when something resonates with you. What's up, my royal priesthood? Oh, it's another episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Thank you all so much for your love and support and for listening to the last episode, Ubereats and Pastors, who's really stealing from you. And we are now on part 2. Trigger warning, we will be talking about religious abuse and toxic leadership. All right, so toxic leaders. Last week, I talked about toxic leaders and we talked about divisive behavior and all the ways that leaders can be toxic. And I'm going to do a further breakdown on this. This is also the reason why we didn't have a priestess after dark, is because I really wanted to take time and really focus on breaking this down a little bit further for you all. While toxic leaders are typically authoritarian, all of the behaviors that I described, they all blend into various categories of the types of behaviors that toxic leaders display. And one of the many behaviors, specific things I want you all to look out for specifically is when you're new to a ministry or new to a church. If the pastor and the congregation are way a little too friendly for comfort, they're too eager for you to join, that is not the place for you to be. And this is with any organization or any entity, whether it be a ballroom house, a church, even job opportunities. If they are a little too eager for you to be a part, watch, because leaders of that organization will withhold information from you. They will encourage others to display this image as if everything is peachy keen. But when you sit back and you get involved without observing, you'll fall prey to all of the bullshit that comes in with the disorder. Now, with toxic leaders, I talked briefly about the chaos and the personality and the image as well. Those two, the thing that I mentioned with them being too eager, is all about image. However, in their eagerness for you to be a part of their entourage, a part of their cult, a part of their church, whatever you want to call it, they will try their best to love bomb you, and they will make you feel real comfortable. It may not be the fast love bombing that we see from men in our inboxes, but it could be, oh, well, we welcome you here. They're open and friendly. Yes. However, there is a level of friendliness that is rendered way too much. They want to know too much about your life. They want to know too much about you. They want to know your life story a little too quickly, instead of allowing you to get comfortable sharing certain things about yourself. And when you start sharing about your life, those types of leaders, toxic leaders or narcissistic leaders especially, will pay attention to your triggers and your trauma. And at any point, whenever they feel the need to, or in an attempt to embarrass you or to make an example, they will do something to trigger you. And a lot of times they may use that as tools for deliverance service, a way to tell you that you may be possessed with something. Or that could just be a method that they could use to relate to you and identify with you, so that you can let your defenses down, so that you'll blindly trust them. I experienced that with Pastor Mo Edward and with Don Prophet El Saint. because I really trusted them and allowed them a little too close to me under my mindset at the time, under the thought process that they were really genuine people. And you know how if you go into church, you trust people. But I realized later on they used those things as tactics to not only embarrass me, but to use that as a method of control and manipulation. And when those things happen to me, and I know it happens to others, it made me question myself. And I didn't change anything because it felt familiar, and I didn't recognize that it was the same abuse that I had went through in childhood, in other religious settings, and in some relationships as well. However, thankfully, I am healed, and I've unpacked this a whole lot more as well to give you these tools from my experience. Now, while they may get too personal with you as well, they will often use those details about you in a sermon, and they will do it in a passive aggressive way. If you've gone through any type of hardship or depression, and instead of addressing that you've been depressed and providing you with the necessary resources, if they can't help you, they will get all that they can about what made you depressed in pastoral counseling. And what they'll do, they'll go in and they'll preach a sermon and they'll use tidbits. They won't call your name, but they'll say, if you've dealt with depression or if you've been abused and you fit that criteria, they will use that to elicit your emotions and to draw you closer to them. Now, we understand that when you are doing a speech about certain things, you are going to touch on things that relate to people, but you give them the tools on how to fix those things, not use it and manipulate it for your personal gain. I will never forget the time that we were in Baltimore with Pastor Mo Edward, and I had gone through a horrible depression at this point, losing my grandmother and losing my friend back to back. It was so rough, and also didn't realize that the medication that I was taking at the time for HIV was causing more harm than good. So I was able to get off of that medication, and that alleviated my mental health. Well, after they began to open things back up, Pastor Mo Edward decides to get up and testify that I had been depressed and how God delivered me from depression. And I went along with it as not to seem combative or to embarrass him, but I felt some type of way about that because how dare you tell my personal business like that? Like, I felt violated. I confided in you about me going through a depression, and my mental health battle is very near and dear to me. And so I'm only comfortable with information being shared unless I choose to share it. And that was a total disrespect of boundaries. Toxic leaders will disrespect your boundaries as well. They will disrespect your boundaries. And going back to micromanaging, that is an area of micromanaging and manipulation as well. Whenever you say no to a toxic leader, there is a big uproar that happens, and they'll throw scripture at you, and here comes the harmful theologies about if you give a prophet a drink of water, or you are supposed to submit to those in authority. And not only is this really dangerous, but in the political climate that we're in, we're seeing the influx of Black churches begin to teach the harmful theology of following the laws of the land, no matter if they're harmful. But the last time I checked, Jesus also fought against systemic oppression, and that's what got him in trouble. So you have a lot of leaders that are now using the pulpit to push items such as Project 2025 to discourage individuals from voting for candidates because they just might be a woman, or you see them heavily push misogynistic ideals. Whereas before, they may have had ideologies of freedom for all, or they may have been an LGBT ally, but all of a sudden you see them change and start treating the LGBT community a little bit different along the lines of the same misogyny. Case in point, I talked about this in Diary of a Church Girl. I experienced when when I transitioned socially in the church. There was this big grand proclamation that Pastor Mo Edward did with the bishop, son of Poseidon. And a few weeks later, due to situation where I let it be known that, yes, the son of Poseidon and I were in an entanglement, and we were having heated fellowship on the regular, and he had me on the guys that he wanted me in a relationship. But when I saw that he was playing on my time, I just went on ahead and let it be what it was going to be, because this was also tied to the fact that it was an alleged phone call that I don't know who made the phone call, really don't care, to the archbishop of the organization in Georgia at the time. And because of all of this, I went on ahead and said, you know what? I think I know why this is. It's because me and the bishop had something going on, and Pastor Mo Edward is low-key jealous. Catch that tea on the Patreon, honey. And through all of that, I did not get any support. So instead of treating me like someone who's been through a toxic leader situation, I was villainized. And then I saw all of the misogyny, the transphobia come. I ended up being sat down. And then all of a sudden, a whole smear campaign, my OnlyFans being brought up, my adult content being brought up, which was totally unnecessary. And instead of guarding me throughout all of this and protecting me, he used this as a time to flex his control, but also it showed me the misogyny he had, because not only that, Pastor Mo Edward also started being more demanding about how I dress. He started having these ideologies that a woman is supposed to be covered up, whereas before he was pro-trans, pro a woman wearing things to church that fit her, but being, respectful to the house of God, as what we had, the whole church respectability thing. But slowly but surely, I realized that even with some of the hair policies he had about natural hair, for some reason, if you had natural hair, it had to be done a certain way, or you needed to wear a wig if, it wasn't styled to his liking. And it was all of these anti-black, anti-natural policies. He even hated that I loved wearing head wraps, and Pastor Mo Edward forbade me to wear head wraps to church because he thought that was inappropriate. However, he had ideals that seemed to be pro-black. He supported the Black Lives Matter movement, but in your policies in the church were anti-black. And I went on that tangent to say you have to be mindful when that happens, because you're seeing an erratic change. Because a lot of times, particularly in the Pentecostal settings, the fundamentalism goes so deep that they'll find themselves on the more conservative side of things, because they begin to take scripture literally. I've seen this even in the LGBT church. They may not go as extreme with some of the other things that we see the supremacist groups in the traditional cishet church does, but they will still try to enforce heteronormativity on the trans and non-binary community. For my trans people, if you are in the beginning stages of your transition and your leader says to you, you need to figure out what you're going to do, because you're going to confuse the people, that is not the leader for you. If a leader does not attempt to research or gain knowledge on how to handle communities that they may not have had interactions with, and don't seek that knowledge and put it to use, then that leader is not for you. And there's a possibility that they might be toxic and they just want you to use the LGBT community as an accolade. LGBT people, ministries are out there for you. However, don't let someone use you as their poster child just to get the community, just to get people in the pews. Make sure that they're genuinely active and meaningfully active in community. Emphasis on meaningfully. So many churches during the pandemic and in the last few years began to be LGBT friendly. But then you find out that it's not really what it is. They bring the people in, but they relegate them to the shadows. You don't see them in leadership. You don't see them in any position. However, they're often demonized in passive aggressive ways. And then you see theologies change. You see how there all of a sudden is a problem because that person is trans or queer or gay. We've seen it happen with the church here in Maryland. So you'll see their ideologies and you'll see their mindset change towards you and communities. But also, they will start sharing more harmful theologies. And again, we see this closer to the political season with the harmful theologies to lead with misogyny and all kind of bad behavior. And we see this from all genders in ministry. And last but not least, watch how they position women in ministry. Actually, I have a couple of more points. Let me fix that. If they feel that women can lead, but you rarely see them allow women to lead, only at specific times or when there's a big convocation, you don't see women recognized any other time. Or if they do recognize women, it's bare minimum, baby, that ain't for you. Because just as much as they celebrate the men, they should be able to celebrate the women. And come to the defense of women, black women especially. But if there's any leader that does not stand up for marginalized communities at all, then that leader is problematic in and of himself or of themselves and does not stand for the policies that Jesus stood up for. So you will need to figure that out. And if they are always at war with other leaders, we have seen this whole debacle with Tiffany Montgomery and Prophet Celeste on social media, where the prophet girlies are fighting, seeing who has the best word, trying to convince the people that one or the other is not of God. And they're putting all this energy in going to war with each other, but they should be prophesying and teaching the people about Project 2025 and what is happening in our world and in our government in Gaza, in Haiti, Sudan, and Congo. I'm gonna need them to get it together because while y'all are fueling each other and being mad because y'all egos are clashing because y'all are insecure, y'all could be focusing on more important things like community. And when you have leaders like that, baby, they are toxic, they are childish, and they are just in leadership for validation. And when you feed into all of this negativity, you're feeding into their ego and you're creating a bigger monster. We have to divest from these leaders that are so charming, especially these types that aim to be the next mega church. I don't see how leaders can have this big mega church and be effective leaders. If you have a big mega church, you should be sending people out in the community to do other things, to have other forms of ministry and not be tied to you, and make room instead of having a big mega church. Make that a place where during the week people can come to get resources, or if they need shelter, they can get shelter. So many ways that we could do ministry. And I can say as a former Christian, the church has been doing it wrong. They have been doing it wrong. It should not be relegated just to the four walls and hollering and having the best clothes. Come on now. There comes a time when in ministry where people will leave and no longer be a part of that ministry. And it causes all types of emotions. It causes all types of gossip and conversation. I'm not a fan of announcing that people have left the church, because that opens up the door for gossip and rumors to spread. Now, if the person left the church because they're relocating, or, because they may be starting their own ministry, or maybe, they've gotten what they needed and they're on to another part of the journey. And whatever the reason, if you choose to announce it, do it in a way to where it's not messy, or don't announce it at all. Just let the person leave. And I've been in the church when a pastor has announced that I've left the ministry, and I'm not sure why. And it's so funny. I had just gotten all of my things out And as soon as I hit the door and got ready to crank up my car, I heard the announcement. And I got prophecy after prophecy and a smear campaign about me leaving the ministry. It's actually happened at the last couple of ministries I've been in. I've left because leadership was shitty. And instead of holding themselves accountable, they went on a smear campaign and tore my name up. And I should have known this was going to happen because I've seen how they trashed other people that had left the ministry as well. And after I left that ministry, I got so many crazy messages, so many wild messages that I had to block them. When you see a leader that engages in that type of behavior of smear campaigns, slandering people, that is a toxic leader, and they are upset because that person is leaving because of their bad behavior. What do you do when you find yourselves at the mercy of a smear campaign by a toxic leader? And what do you do when you have a toxic leader? Number one, document the behaviors. If you have to record on the sly or use the church live, for example, to point out things, just document it. Keep a journal. Keep any communications because you just might need that. And when they do start a smear campaign, make sure that you have a support team that can help you. Block any social media, cut any contact with anybody from that spiritual circle or from that circle. And if necessary, get law enforcement or get a lawyer involved. Get people involved that you know will fight for you. There are some advocates out there, and people, if you are trans, I have organizations listed in the comments that can help you as well. But before you confront that leader, just analyze their behavior. Go on what you know about them. Sometimes you have to quietly leave and just stop coming around and slowly stop contacting people. Start slowly blocking people. Because a toxic leader will also have people use people as their minions to do their dirty work instead of them getting their hands dirty. A toxic leader will never, ever get their hands dirty. They will send other people that are gullible enough to do it. And this is just petulant behavior because a leader is to be mature, emotionally intelligent, sound, able to critically think. And if a leader is failing in those qualities, then run like the wind. But if you must confront a leader, make sure that you have a team with you. And make sure that you have protection with you by any means necessary. You can also write a letter or an email. They may or may not read it. And most of the time they will read it, but they won't respond. However, if you've blocked them, you may see profiles pop up from those leaders in your people you may know, or you may see some of them comment. Sometimes on certain social media, they will show you who viewed the page. They may have viewed that page and they'll show their face. Sometimes they'll do that as an intimidation tactic after you've left, but go ahead and block and report them. If you receive any type of communication, save it for your records, screenshot it, go to the authorities if you have to. Use social media to your advantage. Use your social media to your advantage. And toxic leaders will also hide behind fake profiles and just comment on your social media with troll comments. And you may never know it's them, but I always block troll comments and things like that. And I'm sharing that last part with you because just this week, I saw two of my abusers from when I was in the church world, the son of Poseidon and Don Prophet El Saint, in my people you may know on two different platforms. And I must admit I was triggered because all of the pain, everything came rushing back. But I was able to hold my own. And I'm thankful for my partner who was able to support me through it. And I blocked those profiles. And granted, one of them had a different name. They were Buddy Cousin or Cousin Buddy or something like that, whatever it was. And I just happened to look and really pay attention to their countenance on a spiritual level. Um, they looked empty. They looked dead inside. They looked as if they were struggling to find acclaim, struggling to find some type of relevance in the world. And just seeing that I had so many mutuals with them, I went on ahead and did some cleaning, um, because that's making me feel like they've been watching my page. They've created pages to watch me, and that's a trauma response. Of course, they could very well not be watching me, but you never know with people because of the level of narcissism and sociopathy that I had to deal with. um, I'm going to talk about more of that on the Patreon, so y'all go there to check that out. There I'm going to talk a little bit deeper in certain things, and I want to let you know that you can get away from these people. There is help available. Again, sometimes you might have to leave quietly and not tell anybody where you're going and just cut people off. Stay off of social media for a while. And also make sure that you're getting the mental health resources, because dealing with a toxic leader does take a toll on your mental health, especially. And make sure that you're treating yourself kindly during that time. When you feel those emotions, process those emotions. But in confronting that leader, what I did, I wrote a letter and just left, even through the harassment. However, if you got it in you to confront them one-on-one, go ahead and do it. Leave no stone unturned. But also be ready. Be ready. And share your story, baby. That's why I'm sharing my story with you. I know that people may be watching and may be talking. It's okay, but share your story. Share your story. And I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk about some opportunities that I've had, and I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast. So y'all love me, be free. Smooches. What's up, my royal priesthood? Thank you again for tuning in to Conversations with the Priestess. Thank you for following and subscribing. And if you're new here, why haven't you subscribed yet? Go on ahead and do that for me. Get ready on September 13th at noon. Premiering on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere where you download and or listen to this podcast. I will be premiering a series called I Think I Hate My Family, as I unpack my childhood and just give you a little bit of insight on how I've managed to overcome being raised by a narcissist and a toxic parental figure. This is something that I'm doing to help those who are healing and dealing with childhood trauma and various types of trauma. And it's going to get heavy and deep sometimes. So we're going to be in this together. So if you're all ready for that, go ahead and subscribe, set those bell notifications, set those reminders for September the 13th. I Think I Hate My Family here on Conversations with the Priestess. Let's jump back into the show. We're back. After unpacking everything in the previous segment, with everything that has rushed back to me in the incident of seeing Don Prophet El Saint and the son of Poseidon on social media, I remembered some of the things that was said to me about my transition. And trigger warning, it's going to include transition trauma. Don Prophet El Saint had got me at a very vulnerable time. This was on the heels of, and I talked about this in Diary of a Church Girl, of me transitioning socially and the whole debacle. I noticed that he was hyper focused on what was between my legs and how that, in his mind, invalidated my womanhood. But I held my ground in what I was and was not going to do concerning my transition. And it's ironic that this time of year, coming up in a couple of weeks, it will be 1 year since I've had facial film. And this happened around August, September of 2022. And I'm empowered because even though that happened around that time in 22, 2 years later around that time, I affirmed myself with having facial film. And that was the ultimate fuck you to Pastor Mo Edward and an ultimate fuck you to Don Prophet L. Saint. Now, I realize I'm taking a chance by talking about my story, but I have no fucks to give because I am divinely protected. And this is my story and my song. And through all of this, I did experience some feelings of depression, and I immediately began self-care. And self-care has been so important for me these last few weeks, especially as summer comes to a close. And I must say that has been progress for me. Even with moments of gender dysphoria, because of past trauma, I was able to persevere and be like, girl, you are one of the baddest trans women in the land, honey. You are the motherfucking priestess. Don't let nobody dim your light. And I'm saying that to say, don't let anyone, I don't care what type of authority they in, don't let them dim your light. You are one of a kind and you have a light to shine in whatever capacity it is. Everything don't necessarily have to be in the spotlight. If you don't want to be in the spotlight, that's fine. If you want to be in the spotlight for the right reasons, that's fine. But you don't have to allow people to use you and abuse you to get there. When you use people going up a ladder, you're going to see them coming right back down. And that's going to eat at you. It may not eat at you right away or publicly, but somewhere in the back of your mind, when you do somebody wrong, it's going to be there. And that's why I'm focused on building this podcast and rebuilding my music career. I know I've talked a lot about it in the past, but I am back on this thing. That's why I sang the song, I believe it's I'm Grateful, a song that I heard on the viral clip from Lisa Page Brooks. And I'm excited about getting back into the music scene because, you know, music is my life. And music is where I reside. So you're going to be seeing some more music things for me. And I'm excited because I am now a talent on the roster for Divine Entertainment LLC based here in the DMV. Yes, your girl has made it, honey. And I'm so excited because it's been a long time coming, and I want to give a shout out to the Queen of Shade for all the work and all of the mentoring that she has instilled in me. And I want to say thank you so much. I always give honor where honor is due. And I want to give also credit to Pastor Mo Edward for teaching me a few things about myself when I served under him as a praise and worship leader. Baby, you've created a monster. Yes, you've created a monster. And I'm going to just go ahead and join me on the Patreon because we're going to talk about some of the shenanigans and the embarrassing things that I allowed to happen on my watch, not using better judgment. But y'all, let's go ahead and end this ditty. Y'all live and be free from the priestess. Smooches! Yeah.